Hello world, my name is Scott, or as I affectionately call myself, the bitter old queen. Okay? I am not a therapist or a professional. My stories, experiences, and comments are anecdotal only. Okay? This video is about how to make it through a New York City blackout in a high rise. Okay? Certain things also apply to those people who live out in the real world in houses and stuff like that. So, I have been through two blackouts in New York so far. The first one was August 14th of 2003, and it was only a 29-hour blackout. It started at 4:11 p.m. And I was like the luckiest guy in the world that day because I stayed home from work and I had had a stress fracture in my foot, and I had gone to work like 2.5 weeks with this with a boot on and everything. And I got up that morning and I just said, I can't do it. And wouldn't you know, it happened to be that day. So I lucked out there. Dennis was at work, so he had to walk up all the stairs. And anyway, the second blackout, though, was a more serious one. It was October 29th of 2012. It affected quite a lot, a big part of the country. And but for us in our enclave here where we were, it lasted 100 hours starting at 9 p.m. on October 29th, and it didn't come on back on until 100 hours later. We got up about 10 after 1, and the lights were on. And boy, oh boy, that was tough. So um, anyway, okay, so you're sitting there and the lights go out and it's dark. So obviously, the first thing you have to do is find your flashlights and sources of light. I personally would not use candles. I don't even own any candles in my house. I actually have a few extra candles and some birthday candles just for the, emergencies, but I would not use them unless I absolutely had to. Every time there's a blackout, there's a whole rash of fires. People do stupid things and they forget and this and that. So I just, no. Okay. And don't keep batteries in flashlights because then they corrode and stuff like that, and they'll ruin your flashlight. It's better to find a corroded battery and an okay flashlight than a ruined flashlight with corroded batteries. So, um, also, as soon as you get your lights out, you better get your radio out and try and find out what's going on. For the first blackout, I had like a little radio from the 90s that hung around my neck, and it had headphones. That's the only radio we had like that. So, but I was able to put that in and listen to what was going on and stuff like that. So I suggest right away you turn on any kind of radio you have. Okay. Um, and it's so funny. Listen to this, I have a space heater. The thing is too about these radios and everything, take them out and your lights, make sure they work. Okay. I had a space heater here that I had bought. I'd never used it. I turned it on to make sure it worked. But I had kept it in the closet just in case the heat went out or something like that. So, well, we had lived here 30 years before the heat went out, and it did go out. So anyway, so I go get the space heater out, and I hadn't checked it in years, and it didn't work. I had to go out and buy another one. So anyway, check your stuff, make sure it works. Anyway, so okay, so the lights go out, you get your lights, you get your radio, you try and figure out what's going on. But also, if you live in a place with like we have water tanks on our roof, you have water in a tower in most towns. That tower is going to run dry, and those tanks are going to run dry fast. So right away, you've got to start filling pots of water, and then put a cover on them, put them on your stove or whatever. Fill as much as you can with water. Okay, I did that immediately. Uh, I'm going on the first blackout when it was hot as blazes out. So then I filled all the stuff I could, and then you realize that you need a way to flush your toilet. So it's a very good idea to fill up your tub. If a storm is coming or something, you're afraid you're going to lose power, fill up your tub. At least you can flush your toilet, which is extremely important. Okay. So um, you fill your jugs with water and all that stuff, and then what I did next was I was going to go fill the tub, because I'd heard about these things. So anyway, I said, well, it was 4 in the afternoon, and I said, I haven't even taken a shower yet today. I've been home with my foot up on the couch trying to relax. So I've got my foot in a plastic bag, wrapped it up, and I got in the shower in the dark. But there was still water and hot water left on the roof. As soon as I was done with my shower, though, I put the plug in the tub, I filled it up with water. So by the time Dennis got home, I was freshly showered. We had all this water set aside, and he comes up after climbing up 20 flights of stairs, and it's like, oh my gosh. Anyway, and then of course, there's no air conditioning, there's no fans, and it was 95 degrees or something when the thing went out. So it was a hot night. So anyway, I did have a little battery held fan, but it rattled and it made so much noise, it drove you crazy. It wasn't worth it. So anyway, then after you get all that done and everything, you just pray the lights come on soon. Okay. So in these blackouts, though, you can use your stovetop. The gas should still work, but if you have electronic ignition, like our burners are electronic, but they still light. There's no way you can light the oven though. There's a safety mechanism in it that if the power goes out, you can't use the oven, which is good. So um, also, so you can use the stovetop. Okay, and I want to get one of those little the thing you put bread on. It leans, a camp stove. Toaster. I want to get one of those just because at least we could make toast. What the heck? Um, and also, do not open your refrigerator. Okay, it is now cooler. Okay, that you just hope stays. So open it the least amount you can. Okay, if you have blocks of ice in your freezer, you might take some of those and put them in your refrigerator too. If you can. So. Um, Also, when it comes to coffee, I'm going to show you some things like we have a French press, a coffee maker here. Okay, it's funny. We always have had a Bodum of some type and French press, and when our coffee pot breaks, then we have something to use. So the last time our coffee pot broke, though, the straps around it, the thing, right as we just got the new coffee pot, I'm washing up the Bodum to put away, and it broke. So we had to get a new one. This is still a brand new one in the box. This is a few years old here. Okay, um, but realize this. You either have this kind of a coffee maker or an espresso maker or something because if you are a regular coffee drinker and you can't get your coffee, do you know what happens to you? You get rip-roaring headaches, okay, and become an absolute bear to live with. So anyway, have coffee. Make sure you can make some coffee. The other thing too, if you have any board games left in your house or anything, which most people don't, okay, or you at least cards. Play some cards. That's all you can do. Okay, and we play rummy and double solitaire. If you've never played solitaire, you can play, up to four people I've played with, where, everybody, all the aces go up on the top, and then everybody builds on the top. So you can do that with two, three, four people. So that's a fun one. So, and don't be surprised if you're ready for bed as soon as it gets dark, okay? Because that was the second blackout. It was 4 nights that we had to, and once it gets dark, it's a pain to read by flashlight or these lanterns or whatever. And so it's just like, well, the sun is down. Let's go to bed. We were surprised that it didn't take us long at all. And we were going to bed at 9 o'clock at night or whatever. For the second blackout especially, or after dark anyway. Um, the other thing too, they have these power stations out there, and I would love to get one of these power stations. But the thing is, a 5,000 watt power station, which is what I would need. If you have a decent sized refrigerator, it's going to take at least 1,000 watts a day minimum, maybe 1,200, could even be 1,500. So 5,000 watts in a power station is only going to last you a few days. So, and they're $2,000 right now for that. And they're a few $100s more if you want a solar panel with it. And we're on the north side of the building. We can't get any sun at all. So solar panel is worthless. It's just a battery to us. Now, if I lived on the south side, I would already have one of these things. I would already have like 1,000 watt power station. They're only about 250 bucks. They're another $100 with a solar panel. And you can charge up that 1,000 watt thing with that solar panel during the day, and then you can charge your laptop, your phone, uh, your tablets, and stuff like that. And at least you have that. But we don't have the southern window. So as soon as that thousand, it's not worth it yet. I'm waiting for the price to come down, and they are coming down, 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 down. So before I leave, I want to show you a few things. This is a flashlight thing. And what is cool about this one is it has a little clip here, and you can clip it right on your shirt. Okay, let me show you. I hope I don't blind you here. and but you can clip it right in your shirt like this, okay? And and they can walk around with that. But and also it's metal, it's magnetic, so you can stick it on metal. So that's kind of cool. That's a nice one. These were given to us as gifts by my partner's niece after the last blackout. You know, anytime she is so sweet, she's always doing this stuff for us. I think she got us this too. This is like a book-length thing that you do, and you can put it up. You know, and it's very cute. But at least you can read at night. You know, with this thing. So and so, but the thing is too, when I went through our pandemic supplies, uh, we are low on batteries. We have to get batteries. I didn't even have enough batteries to put in this thing. This is a cute little radio that my partner's niece also gave us, which is cool. The reason I thought it was so cool, look at this little handle on the back of it, and you turn it. Okay, now this is kind of old. They're much more updated ones by now, and I think I might get another one. But the reason why this is now not good for me anyway, is my eyes have gotten so bad I can't read any of this stuff on it. I have to get my glasses and flashlights, and I can barely make it out. So anyway, but this was, you have to have a radio, and this does work. I don't have the batteries for it right now. And I do get it out every once in a while, and to make sure it works. So, and it works. We just don't have the batteries. So I'm glad we looked at this stuff because now I see we need batteries, and maybe I'll upgrade our lighting situation a little bit. We're going to have to wait on the power station and stuff like that. So there's also one other kind of solitaire that I'd like to show people how to play, and we used to do this as kids in the car. And I'm going to do it real. It's kind of hard for me to do this here. I don't know how to do this properly. So, but it's basically you're always looking. You take the deck like this, and then the last four cards is what you are concerned with. Now, these last four cards, if this is a spade and a spade, you can take out the two in the middle. If this were a six and a six, then you could take out all four. So I am going to do another video right after this and to show, I'm going to lay it out and show how it works and do like a game for people. I'm going to probably have to try a couple games. So anyway, this is something you can do. The thing about playing games and stuff by lantern and everything, you can't see very well. And if you're a person like me, well, you can go this under a little lantern or something, and this is all you need to see is right in front of your face, you know? And as you take out, say that was a six and a six, you take out, a club and a club, you take out these two. If it were a six and a six, you do this and start over again. So anyway, let me turn this back around here. And I want to thank you all for tuning in. And I am going to be doing more political videos in the future. But for now, I'm going to just stick to the things that aren't so upsetting. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. And please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And please take a look at some of my other videos and podcasts and posts and playlists and all that kind of stuff. And thank you for coming to court. Have a great night.